Hello and welcome. This is BCSC Tech. In this video, I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to use the Canvas Teacher mobile app. So first thing, you need to make sure that you have downloaded the mobile app from either the Apple App Store or the Android App Store, depending on what you're using. And when you have that, you're going to search for Bartholomew and then use your BCSC Google account, the full email account, like your full email and password to sign in. And finding the school and entering your email should not be something you have to do every single time. The only time you'll have to enter your email again is if you update your password. But once you have done that, you are all signed in. So this is where it takes you the first time you go in. So things to point out, the main navigation is across the bottom of the screen. And you'll see all of your courses here listed. To jump into a course, all you have to do is click the colorful course card or the name and it takes you into the course. If you want to change the color, you can technically do that from here. So if I want to make this a blue, I could do that from this view and it applies back onto my profile when I'm on the web. If I want to change my dashboard, I can change the view here as well. So, or maybe I have some courses starred, so they're towards the top of my screen, and then other ones that I might not visit as often towards the bottom. If you want to change the layout of this, by default, it's usually set to list view, but if you want, you can change it to grid. So whenever I have toggled into this view, it looks a little bit more like the web experience on Canvas, and I'm going to jump in to my course. Before I do that though, other thing at the top menu, this menu brings up your profile. So technically you can access your files and your settings from here, but it's better to adjust those settings when you're on the web versus on the mobile app because it is a little limited on what you can change and toggle there. So I'm going to jump into this course, and then by default it always takes me to a list here of all of the different pieces and elements in my Canvas course. So in a Canvas course, you can view your modules. So I can go here, see all the modules that I have published and available, and they're there. I will say that while you can view your modules in Canvas, you can't make any changes to them. So if I have a module that's here, but I haven't published it yet, I can't publish it. I cannot unpublish it. I can't edit or arrange or add anything new to the module from here. I can just view the resources. And if I click into the module itself, it still guides me through things step by step. And this is the same for students. It will guide them through the resources just like when they're on the web. So I can access my modules here, but I just can't necessarily make new ones or edit existing modules. I can access my assignments from here as well. So similar to modules, I can access my assignments, but I can't make any changes to assignments. I can't publish new assignments per se, and I can't create a new assignment. However, I can give feedback on assignments here, assess and grade them, but I'll do more on that in a second. I can access files in my course. I can also add new files. So if I have pictures or media on my phone I want to add to my course, I can do that using the plus button in the top right corner. If I go back here, similar to assignments and modules, I can access my quizzes, but I can't create a new one. I can give feedback and grade this quiz though if I needed to, and it would show me the number of students who've taken the quiz and if I need to give feedback to them and some data on performance. I can go to discussions. So unlike the others before this, I actually can create a new discussion on the Canvas mobile app. It's the plus corner up here. I can give it a description here, publish it, decide some of my settings and pieces here. I would recommend that if you're going to use a discussion and grade it and add a rubric to it, that you probably build that on your computer or your Chromebook versus the app. But you technically can post a new discussion here as well as respond to discussions and view student responses. So it's a really good communication option. I can go back and see the people in my course or lack thereof, like in this example. I can access my pages. So this is where I can see all the pages that I have published. The very top, it's going to show me which one I have flagged as my front page or my home page for my course. Technically, you can change that. So if you don't want this to be your home page anymore, you can change it. I can edit this if I need to. So if you're kind of working on something on the fly, you need to change it, you can. If I want to make this one my home page instead, I could change that pretty easily from the course's homepage. But I can also create a new page from here as well. And if I want this new page to be the front page, I just toggle that on once I've kind of configured some of the features here. And when I add content, I have the ability to add links and files and things like what I typically do on the Canvas website and the web. I can access my syllabus here, but not everyone uses that feature. So you can access it, but you can't edit this. And then the last thing to point out on the course view here is that technically you can toggle into student view. However, you have to have the Canvas student app downloaded first. So if you click that, it's going to prompt you to install that application. Other things across the bottom of this are actually back at the top. If I click my settings button, again, this is where I can change my front page or home page for my course. What the app is really great for doing is giving feedback to students. So your to-do list in the middle is anything that you need to grade or assess as the teacher. So I can see the responses here from my student, and I have one assignment that needs grading. So I click that, and this is what the student's submission was. So shows a file that the student embedded. If there were any attachments, I could see those. If I click this little button up here, the I button, I have this set up to where by default, the students are going to see the grade as soon as I post their grade. But if you want to hide the grade, technically you could. If I want to give some feedback here, across the bottom is where you can do that. But if you want a little bit more real estate to work with, you can click and drag that up to give yourself more room. So I had attached a rubric to this assignment, and this is where I can go through and give students their score similar to the Canvas Speed Grader on the web. So I'm going to click through, and because I set up this rubric in Speed Grader, it's going to start automatically tabulating that score for the student. All right, so it has the score there, so they're going to be able to see that. I don't have to click save or anything. It does it for me by default, which is nice. If I click comments, I can add some feedback here. So to post that, just click the send button. But if I wanted to add other media, I could record audio, video, upload a file if I want, and send that too. And this opens up a discussion thread with the student. If I click files, that is where I would also see any third-party file the student had uploaded that wasn't necessarily embedded. So if the student had attached like a PDF or a Word document, I could view it there. Whenever I am finished giving feedback, I just click the done button. And then when I finished all of my grading, it gives me this little sleeping panda because I have finished all my to-dos. If I click the inbox button, this is a great feature of the Canvas mobile app. It just makes messaging students super easy. So in the event of, you need to give your students really quick information, you can do that all from your phone. So if I'm on this screen, I can view all of the messages that I currently have. So I can respond. If I click the message, I can reply to it. I can start a new message by the plus button in the top right corner. And then I select my course here, type in the users if I want to. If I don't want that to be a group chat, make sure that I turn on individual message, and then I can type it out. I can attach files here if I want, including pictures. I can record audio and video, and my students have those options as well. So that is a very brief overview on the Canvas mobile app experience. If you have more questions, please let us know in BCSC Tech. And you can also check out the Canvas guides for more detailed screenshots, instructions, and exemplars. Thank you.